This is true health food and it's not even close to boring. Today we've got a maple miso pork tenderloin salad with crunchy brown rice, pineapple and a mango satay sauce. Standout delicious and clocking in at just 470 calories. We're going to make a big batch that serves around 6 to 7 people, so you can either feed a table of hungry mouths or keep it in the fridge to snack on over a few days. First we're going to start by chopping up and roasting some pineapple, then moving on to our delicious creamy mango satay sauce, some pickled cabbage, some stunning lean maple miso pork tenderloin, and then the rest of the fresh ingredients that bring this salad all together. So sharpen your knives and let's get stuck in. We'll kick things off with the roasted pineapple. Grab a whole pineapple and simply chop the tops and bottoms off. From here, you just want to run your knife around the outside of the pineapple, removing all of the skin. It helps to hold the pineapple upright like so, and then just run your knife through once more to get rid of these knobbly bits that are left over. Once done, just cut around the core and get rid of it. Then from here, you just want to cut your pineapple into some nice cubes. Don't stress out about the shape or size, just roughly cut them up into nice squares or rectangles like this. Whack into the roasting tray, and of course you're going to have to taste some along the way. Who can't resist some fresh pineapple, right? So from here, just take the rest of the pineapple and continue to slice it up and add it to the roasting tray. Then you just want to add 1 teaspoon of salt, around 30 milliliters or 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Give this a lovely mix and toss up, and then just whack it in the oven. 30 to 40 minutes at around 190 degrees Celsius should do the job nicely. Okay, so next we're moving on to the mango satay sauce. Get a lovely fresh and ripe mango, and then again just trim the tops and bottoms off, and then run your knife around to remove the skin. You can see my apron's blowing about a bit in the wind here. It's normally super sunny in Portugal, but today the weather's slightly off, so bear with me if some of the ingredients blow about a bit. Chop up super roughly. There's no science to this, it's all going in the blender anyway. So collect all the mango, whack it in the blender, and then the core is yours to enjoy. Then to your blender, you want to get 1 can of coconut milk and add, I'd say 90% of it. You just want to leave a little bit left over for the garnish. Then get 2 limes, cut in half and squeeze in. From here, add 120 grams of crunchy peanut butter, but smooth's also okay if that's all you've got. And then a good glug of soy sauce. I'd go with about 60 milliliters or 4 tablespoons. Then whiz these up on high speed and give it a taste. Make sure all the flavors are balanced, and then once you're happy with it, just decant and set aside in the fridge. Okay, so well done for getting this far. Next, onto the pickled cabbage. Get yourself a pointed cabbage and just slice it right down the middle. Hopefully your knife is a bit sharper than mine and you can do this a bit easier. Once you've got them into halves, then you just want to slice it down the middle of each again to make them into quarters. Then just stand them upright and remove the core of the cabbage. This bit's a bit hard and bitter, not something we really want in the salad. Once you've got rid of them all, then just lie the cabbage back down and just run through it and try and slice it up as thinly and finely as possible. Add to a mixing bowl, and I've actually decided once I've gone through this cabbage that half of the cabbage is enough. The other half I've wrapped up in cling film and put back in the fridge for another day. So again, just run your knife through the cabbage, try and make it as wafer thin as possible, and do try here guys, because the thinner you get these pieces of cabbage, the more refined and more finesse the end result's gonna have. So again, into the mixing bowl, and from here you're gonna add about 4 tablespoons or 60 milliliters of cider vinegar, 1 heaped teaspoon of salt, and then just mix this up, preferably with your hands, but you can also use a couple of spoons. Once fully incorporated, this goes in the fridge alongside the mango satay. Next we're moving on to our toasted brown rice. So here I've got 700 grams of cooked brown rice. Ideally you cook this before, let it cool off and have it sit in the fridge for a bit, but it's also fine to just boil some up and use it from there. Add this to a baking tray, and I'm going to put this under a salamander or a grill. If you have a grill function on your oven, then great, use that. But also if you don't, it's absolutely fine. Just whack it on around 200 to 220 degrees Celsius. And the aim for this, guys, is to crisp up the rice and give the salad a lovely crunchy texture. Next, we're moving on to the fresh salad bits. So get yourself 1 regular cucumber and peel the skin off. Slice down the middle, lay flat on the board, and then just slice at a sort of diagonal angle here. Again, don't stress out too much about the way you're cutting this, but if you can get it nice and thin, then great. We're gonna add this to another mixing bowl, and this is where we're gonna start building the actual salad itself. Next, a bunch of fresh coriander. You can see how I've just folded it back on itself myself here, and then I start chopping it up from there. So run your knife all the way down the bunch, and if you're left with these rough bits that haven't been sliced up, that's okay. Just whack it all in nice and rustic. Next, get yourself a bunch of mint. Make sure you're washing both of these herbs, by the way, and slice it up in the same manner, but you kind of want to run down to, I'd say, 60% of the bunch of mint. So as this is a Southeast Asian inspired salad, I've just taken 125 grams of salted peanuts and boiled them for 10 minutes. This is going to soften them up and give the salad a super authentic vibe. You can see at this point, I'm praying that it is just wind and not rain today. Let's see if I can actually make it to the end of this shoot. So back to the fridge, get that pickled cabbage back out, and we can just give it a toss and check it out. You can see that the salt and the vinegar has kind of pickled it, and it's really softened the cabbage down. What this is going to do is obviously give it a slightly acidic and salty flavor, but also a much softer texture, which I personally way prefer to raw cabbage. Next, onto our delicious maple miso pork tenderloin. So what I've got here is one pork tenderloin that I marinated and roasted yesterday. For the marinade, you'll need 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of white shiro miso, 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of maple syrup, and again 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of coconut oil. Roast for 30 minutes at 190 degrees Celsius, wrap it up in cling film and set aside in the fridge. Once chilled, you can slice it up into these nice little pieces. Again, a few cheeky chef's privileges. Slice your way all the way down the pork, and you can see how tender and delicious this is as we go. Add it to the salad mix, and now we move on to the final assembly. So at this point, I'm just going to apply a light dressing. So we've got 2 fresh limes that are going in, 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of agave syrup, 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of fish sauce. Again, that fish sauce is really going to bring out that Southeast Asian sort of Thai Vietnamese vibe. So from here, you just want to give this salad a nice toss up, and we're getting our roasted pineapple out the oven and bringing it back in the fold. So add this to the salad and then go get your crunchy brown rice. Whether it's been in the oven or under a grill, it should be super nice and crispy at this point. You can see here with my spatulas, I kind of have to break it up because it's gone super crunchy and nicely toasted. So if you have to, just sort of break it up with your spatulas. You don't really want any massive clumps in there. Add it to the salad, and then I'm just going to add another lime. I've just given this a taste, and it feels like it needs a bit more fish sauce. People say you should always be sparing with fish sauce, but to be honest, I kind of use it as the salty element. And again, the flavor just brings me right back to Thailand. So give this a toss once again, and at this point, get a mouthful in. If yours has turned out anything like mine, you will not be disappointed. So plating wise, I just want to get a plate and sort of gently spoon it on top of itself. I used to work at Nobu, and one of the things they taught us when building your salads is you want to stack it high and create that sort of volume. Once you have it into a nice pyramid or dome shape, you just want to get your mango satay sauce and drizzle it over the top of the salad. You can see how stunning this is starting to look. So many vibrant Asian flavors, super fruity, super fresh. Next, if you still have that can of coconut milk kicking about, just drizzle it on top. Of course, this is optional, but it will really level up your salad from a visual standpoint. From here, you just want to garnish it. So a handful of crushed salted peanuts. Again, get a good bit on the plate. You want to scatter it evenly all around. Then some finely minced chives. This is a go-to garnish for me. You'll see it in a ton of my recipes. And from here, we're done. You can see both how happy I am that I made it through the shoot without the rain, but I've also surprised myself. This looks even better than I expected. Just take a look at this. This is what we're talking about when we're talking health food. So hope you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more healthy, delicious recipes, and let's redefine health food together. This is the new culture of health food, and I can't wait to share it with you all.